What's good? What's good? We back with another one, another Rollo Tomassi. Cause you're coming home intoxicated. I don't know, that song been stuck in my head, John. I'm sorry. But you lack purpose in life. This is a video about men just understanding what they need in life. Men nature in a sense, because it's like we don't really get these media outlets kind of talking about like men depression, men suicide, the problem with like the pandemic with men being depressed and stuff like that. So this is one of those, you lack purpose in life is another, you lack happiness in life, I would say as well. Well, this is Rollo Tomassi with a few of his people that he's been having on his show a few times. I like the dude in the black. I don't think I know the other dude in the middle yet. But interesting combo. Let's get into it.
Yeah, especially in the space that have a lot of problems with loneliness. They don't have the kind of camaraderie and companionship that I know at least we have, and that we're all developing this very week. And I think it's important for guys to focus on developing that camaraderie, that brothership, because the world we live in today tries to kind of isolate and separate men. Do you think that's a fair statement?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I also say that like a lot of guys right now in like the last like 2 or 3 generations, they don't have networks of like tribes of friends, right? Tribes of guys, and I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that like they don't know how to socialize, or they weren't raised socializing to understand like how to interrelate with other guys and like what to do. And I think whenever guys hit me up and they're asking me for counseling and stuff, one of the first questions I ask them is like, do you have friends? Do you have like a tribe? Like, do you have workout partners? Do you have guys that you play basketball with? Do you guys chess club? I don't care what it is. Like, what is there a group of like guys that you actually go and hang out with because you have a shared interest? And I think that a lot of guys right now, because of the internet and because of social media, we tend to look at the internet as this big like extroversion, right? When in fact it's really an introversion. You feel like you're part of something, but when you turn off the computer, you're still at home and you're just like by yourself. And loneliness is a big deal for guys.
And I think a lot of guys find at least a degree of companionship and camaraderie in places like the comment section of your YouTube community, in the live chat. It's the sub.
I was kind of just talking about this in the last Rollo Tomassi video I made about having like man caves and going out to the barbershop, or just having different things that you have to help you maintain your masculine frame when you're in a relationship. And also just having a good solid friends, like that helps you maintain that masculine energy. But it's crazy when you kind of think about it in the sense of people or men being lonely and not really having friends. But it's when I go hoop and I had consistent hoop friends, or I can hop on the game, I can get online and have consistent friends, or when you can go to the bar consistently with friends, bro, life feels better. Like you can actually go out and do things. Like it's like it's life is about just having like not even being the richest person in the world, but when you have friends, like they take you on different adventures, they invite you to do different things that you may not have been thinking about. So it's very important to have male friends, but I don't know. I mean I've always kind of been good at having friends. I don't know how that's really a disconnect. It's kind of weird to me, honestly, because I've never really had that problem with having friends, but it's the reason I say it's weird because it's like it's so many men that's alike, whether you're a nerd, whether you're a jock, whatever little subcategory you fit in high school. I always felt like you could find someone that was just like you, and that's why it's weird to me why people couldn't like still have friends and may not be able to do things. But I don't know. Maybe I don't know how big that demographic of men is, but I'm curious to know.
Substitute, right? But it's not a real substitute for actually going out, doing shit, hiking in the California mountains, for example. And we've only been friends for since January or something like that, very, very recently. But we've developed a very, very strong kind of bro code between us. And you say this all the time whenever we're talking about chicks back at home and stuff, is that there's no girl can kind of get in between what we have, because we've laid the foundation of, like, these are kind of the unbreakable rules of how we interact as guys, right? And a lot of dudes, maybe you can speak on this, I think a lot of dudes break that, will
fall into it.
They'll break their brotherly bonds over pussy like that, like really quickly.
Right. Well, so one thing I do say, and I think we both say, is like, there's no such thing as a female pallbearer. You know, they're not taking you. Have you ever seen one? I've not seen one. Yeah. And so, and at the same time, you cut that computer off. There's nobody beating on your door saying, "Hey, get up, bitch. We got to go to the gym.
Yeah.
You ain't sleeping in." So the internet can't save you from that. The internet can't save you from what we all fall into, where, you know, what happens now is like guys have guy friends, but it's really just their girlfriend's boyfriend. And that's not real friends, dude. Because I say all the time is fuck time, fuck blood. I don't care how long I've known a person, do our souls align or not. And so for that reason, you can get really close really fast. And I'm not as close to my brothers as I am to you. You know? So for that reason, I think it's really, really, really important to stay around people in person.
Yeah, and like,
I think people that may struggle with having friends are people that's like know-it-alls, and you will probably say are most likely to be in that narcissist category, because you just become unattractive to be around. Men don't want to be around you. Women don't want to be around you. And I made that joke. About women, because they was like, well, are women gonna end up having to just be in women versus women relationships? Like, well, they may not be having sex, but they basically in a relationship and supporting the household together because they can't find a man. And I was like, you know what? That probably makes sense. But then I got to a point where I was like, well, a lot of these women, that's not going to work either, because, bro, like, y'all don't get along with women. Y'all don't get along with men or women. And that's the same with these men that I would say. Y'all don't get along with men or women because whether you don't have enough social skills, and even then, like, you don't have to have the best social skills to build friends. You're just not a good person. You're probably not a good listener. You're probably mean, maybe spiteful, maybe petty, maybe very playful. And that's why you can't keep friends. Toxic, maybe. And that may be due to some, like, childhood reasons, whether your parents kissed your ass and nothing you could do was wrong. They never disciplined you, so you don't know how to act in real relationships. Or maybe you just had a toxic relationship with parents, and that's the only way you know how to really deal with people in a toxic way, in a sense like that. So it's many ways where I feel like people may grow up to be friendless, but yeah, I think people like that, most likely, if they don't find someone else that's miserable in life, like, because misery love company, like, most likely they're going to end up lonely. And that's just because they're just not good people. And I don't want to say every person that don't have friends are not good people, but you got to do some questioning, man, because it's too many people in the world for you not to have any friends. Unless you're just too busy and you just don't have the time or something like that, then that makes sense. But even then, like, don't you have people in your field that's also too busy, that is someone that has to be that you connect with over the years that you've been in the field? Like, I'm not saying the first year you get in the field that and you constantly working, you're gonna find a friend. But if you've been in the field for 10 years and you still haven't found a friend in that field, like, it's too much relating going on in the world where you have too many things that you should like, whether it's movies, whether it's games, whether it's like hobbies, like, and other people have those same interests. You're not that unique of a person where you're the only person that likes these things. There's no one else in the world that likes it. There's going to be someone in your vicinity or your demographic that likes it as well. Like, that's just how the odds of life. So, like I say, if you don't have friends, there's some things that you have to personally question. Just like we talk about women and men. If you're not in a relationship and you can't have if you're not able to have options, you need to start questioning yourself. Don't blame the market. Don't blame the men. Don't blame women. If you can't attract the opposite sex, you need to start looking within. And it's the same with friends. If you're having a hard time finding friends, bro, you need to start doing some soul searching.
For all the guys out here watching who might be in completely different places on the planet, and it can be a challenge. I think it can be quite a challenge
My last point to that, and it's like you don't even have to be the best friend. Like I haven't been the best friend. I have friends that I know people that haven't been the best friends to other people, but they're still able to maintain friendships. Like, but it may not be the like if you can't maintain a friendship, because it's not like family dynamics are not perfect by any means. Friendship dynamics are not perfect by any means. Things happen where you can get upset with your friends, or you may not want to deal with those people, but y'all are able to get through it over time. And the fact that you can't do that at all with anyone is something up.
One, not only just find guys you can hang out and do activities with, right? But two, especially because they're red pilled, finding a guy who's not completely blue pill, who kind of understands the world the way you understand the world, and then you can go out and do stuff with him. Like, it's twice as hard for guys in this community, I think.
Right. Well, they're trying like again it's this substitution of like real connection with guys. I've said this before, is that men do, women talk, right? And we tend to communicate, like the way that guys communicate is we have to have like a shared project. We have to have something that we have a shared interest. You'll notice that most of your friends are guys that either share like some kind of direction or some kind of purpose with you, or else they have like some kind of like you're into the same sports, or you're into the same hobbies, you're into you like to fish, whatever they do too, that kind of stuff. Or whenever guys are communicating, it's usually over like fixing the car, right? Or watching the game. There's some kind of action that's taking place. There's some sort of, for lack of a better term, there's like a problem to solve. And as you are collectively cooperating on solving that problem, then, or that purpose, whatever the purpose is, that's where you sort of make that point of connection with guys. And I like what you said about that there's no female pallbearers. It's funny because it reminded me of this one quote that I put in an essay a long time ago. Is who would you trust to give the eulogy at your funeral? Would it be like one of these guys, one of your friends, or would it be like your wife, or would it be like your girlfriend? Who would be the best person to sort of give a summation of your life? Who knows you the best, so much so that it's like the last thing anybody ever says about you? Like, who would that be?
For me, I would have to say it's one of my friends. Even how my girl knows me, I think my friends get a better whole overall picture of who I am because of they seen me. We played sports together. They seen me fight before. They've been with me on my lowest of lows. Like obviously, my girl was there with me at some. Like a woman could be with you in your lowest of lows, but I think my friends could get a better summary. And then I've had my friends around since high school, so and some friends even longer than that. So I think that's why I would pick my friends. It's the same with my mom. I wouldn't let my mom do it because like my mom doesn't know me. Like she knows me, obviously. Like she knows me because like she's seen how I grew up and how I kind of was very similar to how I grew up, but she's seen how I became whole. But she wasn't there for a lot of the things outside of the nest in a sense, and that's just I think that's most male relationships with their mom. Obviously, she knows me, but she didn't go on the adventures and the trips with me and my friends. Like, oh, we going to see some girls, like, or we about to go to a party. Like, she wasn't with me turning up. Like, that's so my friends have seen me turn up. They see me at my craziest. They see me at my maddest. They see me at my most like they've seen me a lot of more peaks than I would say my mom, my granny, my father, or my girlfriend. My girlfriend's seen a lot of peaks more than my mom, maybe my brothers and sisters, but my friends have seen me peak at being mad, peak at being athletic, peak at being funny, peak at being just wise or like they like a lot of times when I'm speaking my realest shit or doing my best shit is around my friends because we've been around each other for that long, and honestly, those are the ones you're the most comfortable around talking around. Because even when he's saying like, what else talking about? It's so I don't think they kind of said it, but it's so important having friends. Like men, when you get in a relationship, you get this like you get this filter that you have to be like because you know certain things that you say women wouldn't like, so you kind of filter yourself. Just like how when you're around your parents you don't cuss. It's a certain language that you don't use around women, and then when you're around your friends, you kind of open up and just like women have a certain way that they talk, and then if men get in on that, like women be like, oh shit, like you're intruding, or if they're friends with you, you'll just understand. If you have women friends, you'll understand they're speaking a different language. They laugh. You be like, was that really funny? But to them, that was funny as fuck because they have their own inside. They have their own language. Same for men. Women can get in a conversation like, why y'all yelling? Why y'all talking? Is that even fun? And we having the best fucking time ever. So we have our different languages. So men and women create this filter when they get around each other. And if you stay around each other too long, a lot of times that filter can start to form who you are as a person, and you forget how to even talk like a dude. So if you don't have those outlets of like having a man cave or having a group dynamic of friends that keeps in their masculine form, because if y'all all married in relationships, y'all all could lose that shit, and y'all all could be dweebs that's just filtered. So it can happen even if you do have masculine. I mean, even if you do have friends that's just masculine friends, but it can happen. But y'all have to all be careful of that. That's why sticking together and really shooting y'all shit and not being filtered when y'all around each other is very important. Same way when you go to the barbershop, not being filtered and not being scared to bring up certain topics and really being hard on each other and all this other type of shit, like and with shit talking and all these different things, just giving your brother shit, like it's important. It builds a certain chemistry. It builds a lot of different things. It builds your I was talking about this at the barbershop, like when bullies and when your friends joke on shit that makes you uncomfortable, especially your friends, they make you be able to laugh at shit that you used to take too serious. So when you're around your friends and they can joke on you and point shit out, you start taking yourself less serious in a sense too. So it's a lot of things with your friends and them not having that filter is important. So yeah, that it's a lot of good reasons, man, why male friends and male bondage is important. But let's keep it going.
It would be one of my guy friends. There's no doubt, and I don't have a whole lot of them. There's a handful right now. It would be him or one of the Tates, probably. To be quite honest with you, man. You know, because like you have to find people that understand you, that are on the same path as you. Yeah.
And even if I say my friends don't fully understand me when I went into my spiritual rant and stuff like that, they still listen. They still, when stuff made sense, when I was able to formulate my thoughts clearly, like they understood what I was saying to, even if they didn't believe it, they understood what I was saying. So, yeah, man, even to that point, my friends understand me more. It's certain stuff that I say to women, they don't get, whether I say it to my girl and like whether it's talking about wanting to be with other girls and stuff like that, she understands it. But as a man, another man truly understands it in a way that even if he's not wanting to have multiple women, he could kind of understand where I'm coming from a little bit more. And then there's other certain certain conversations. Like I say, there's certain things that you don't say around women, like filters, but there's also certain conversations you avoid with women because you know that it's just too much of a conversation. It's gonna get emotional very quickly. So you keep those kind of conversations for your friends in a sense, and that's why I say my friends understand me a lot more because it's just certain conversations I can have with my friends where they're not gonna get emotional. They're not gonna think like I'm attacking them or I'm just speaking freely in a sense.
And I feel like the closer you can get to a person, the more raw you can be with them. You can tell them your deepest truths. And I think that's why it's very important to get around men, especially if you're a red pill guy, to get around another red pill guy, because anywhere else you can't even tell your truth without worrying about getting kicked out of the tribe in the first fucking place.
That's a big part there, is like not getting, it's like,
Keep your frame.
not getting snitched on
Yeah.
by,
Right.
the blue pill guys out there.
Or policed, self-policed, and
Yeah,
that's
like censored.
That's part of male space right now. A lot of feminization, a lot of gynocentrism wants to move into what were traditionally male spaces right now. You can make the comparison to politics or religion, all this other stuff, but it could be just a club. It can just be the male workspace. It can be whatever. Like you're bringing
And like you should be able to shoot shit about women, and your man's don't be like, oh, not my girl, and you know you ain't talking my girl. Like, bro, I'm just talking shit, and you know your girl do that shit too. Stop playing. Like, man, women be nagging. It's like, no, they. If you say some shit like women be nagging, and then this dude got to police you and talk about, no, they're just venting, and when you call it nagging, you're gaslighting. Like, nah, nigga, get the fuck out of here, bro. You know women get on your nerves sometimes too. Like, stop it. And women can say the same thing. I'm like, damn, this nigga gonna leave me alone about some shit. Like, it happens, like, bro. But when you can't be honest with your friends or be able to just shoot the shit, even though it's not a personal attack on women, like, or you're hating women, like, bro, don't get into like just because I make one statement about women, I'm a misogynist. You don't start doing that shit against me too. So that's when they say, You don't want to have those friends that's blue pill, and you don't want to start being around men that start policing yourself when certain conversations come around. Like, not around my friends, bro. Not around my friends. Now, if it's something that's immorally wrong, yeah, I have my friends can check me on that shit. But if we just shooting this shit, bro, like, nah, bro, don't do that.
Now a lot of video game companies are having to deal with the fallout of wanting to get more women into programming or in sort of the business, I guess, of that, and they're really struggling with this because what they did is it's a traditionally male space that they brought women into, and what happens is the dynamic changes and it becomes less about whatever the project was, in this case like video games or whatever, but it could be anything. And what happens is when you bring women into male space or they come into it, like, now you have to let us into your old boys, place. It changes the dynamic because the people who are, like the guys who are in there will then switch over from being about whatever that space was about to being about inclusion or bringing it like, well, we need to get their opinion. We need to have a woman's say.
It's not about the work at all anymore.
Or the passion, the ambition that started that organization in the first place. And so that's an easy illustration. But like what you were just talking about just a second ago is when you have guys who are not red pill aware or whatever, they tend to police the thoughts of other guys, like locker room talk, right? I mentioned this in a chapter in a book I wrote called Male Space, and it's overseers in the locker room. And what happens is women come into that locker room and they police the conversation, they police the thinking and everything else. And what happens is the guys who are already a part of that, who want to appease that female...
They're doing it to preserve their right to the
and so what they
women.
will do is they will police you for what they think the women want you to think.
Yeah, so they can preserve their right to that woman.
Right, well,
it's white knight shit.
It's intrasexual competition is what it is.
And then, so what they saying with the introspection competition, like, basically saying, like, come on now, you out of my face. She's basically saying, they're policing you because they think that's what women want to hear. And they only basically do that for, they think that's what's attractive to women. The whole time they just pandering. And those type of dudes are the dudes like, Jackson, what's his name? Jackson something. They got caught cheating or something like that. They just pandering because that's what they want. They think women want to hear. And women have been hearing it for so long. But when they hear it from other women, they kind of don't understand it. When they're like, oh, this is what you should be thinking from a man. This is what you should be looking for from a man. But when they hear a man saying it, you can, and overdoing it too, you start to see how women be like, oh, no, this nigga here, he pandering. And those are the type of men that they're talking about where they try to police or change how men should be behaving and stuff like that, or criticize how men behave. And the whole time, the only reason they saying that shit is just to, like, hey, well, look at me, pick me type shit. That's what women call other women pick me's. Those are the male versions of pick me's in a sense. But I actually like women pick me's because I don't think they're pandering. They just know what men want. But those type of men are pandering. But that's it for me on this one. I think I'm done here. Gotta eat. Get ready for my little bro game. But I go turn up on the sorry ass teams. They really ain't good enough to be. They don't need to be playing them, honestly. I wish we had a different division because this team not good at all. They horrible. But it's time to go put up some stats for them. But thank y'all for watching, man. It's been another one. Peace.